The Karamazov family is a biological disaster area, a dense, suffocating web of greed, spite, and obsession. To understand the youngest son, Alyosha, you first have to understand the toxic soil he was forced to grow out of. At the head of the table is Fyodor, a wealthy, neglectful landowner who abandoned his children to chase women and hoard rubles. He is grotesque, shameless, and aggressively proud of his own depravity. His eldest son, Dmitri, operates purely on raw, violent impulse. He is a disgraced soldier who spends his inheritance on 3-day drinking binges and threatens to murder his father over a mutual love interest. The middle son, Ivan, is a brilliant, cold intellectual. He looks at the cruelty in the world and builds ironclad, nihilistic arguments to prove that existence itself is a sick joke. Look at this animated family tree. The inherited darkness of the father bleeds down the connections into his 3 sons. This is the Karamazov curse, a deep, destructive lineage of unregulated sensuality that marks the whole family. If you put those genes into that specific environment, the math is simple. The output should be monsters. Producing a healthy, empathetic human being from this bloodline defies every logical expectation. Yet, there is a 3rd son. Alyosha Karamazov is an anomaly. He is radiant, gentle, and universally adored by everyone he meets. This photograph of an Orthodox priest and a young boy reflects Alyosha's chosen escape. He has taken refuge in a local monastery, living as a cloistered novice under the spiritual authority of the elder Zosima. But this setup begs a serious philosophical question. Is a person actually good if they have never been tested? Virtue is easy when you are locked away from the world's dangers behind stone walls. Alyosha knows this. He openly confesses that the exact same insect of lust and rage crawling in his father and brothers is alive inside his own veins. Before he dies, Elder Zosima gives Alyosha a final, terrifying mandate. He tells the boy he cannot stay in the sanctuary. To find true goodness, Alyosha must leave the monastery and step into the gritty, chaotic world. This image of a bustling 19th century street shows the exact kind of secular chaos Alyosha is forced into. He leaves the quiet hermitage to navigate the town as a messenger, absorbing his family's venom without offering judgment. But empathy offers no protection against his brother Ivan. Over a tavern dinner, Ivan traps Alyosha with a devastating intellectual argument. He bypasses abstract theology and points directly to the unmerited physical suffering of innocent children. Ivan concludes that if a perfect, harmonious afterlife requires the torture of even one defenseless child to balance the cosmic scales, he refuses the conditions. He rejects the universe entirely. Alyosha sits in silence. He has no counterargument. Against the brutal, undeniable reality of human pain, his quiet monastic faith offers zero intellectual defense. In this moment, Alyosha discovers that the arguments for goodness he learned in the monastery struggle to survive when forced to confront the raw, unexplainable reality of human suffering. Then, the one pillar holding Alyosha together gives way. Elder Zosima dies. The entire town and the monastery hold their breath. They fully expect Zosima's holy body to defy nature. A man this pure should produce a miracle, remaining uncorrupted after death as proof of divine justice. Watch this time-lapse of a flower decaying. This is exactly what happens in the monastery. Zosima's body rapidly blackens and rots, filling the cell with the heavy, undeniable stench of corruption. For Alyosha, the smell is a psychological earthquake. The universe is withholding a miracle, and it appears to be actively humiliating the best man he has ever known. This total failure of cosmic justice strips away Alyosha's naive faith. Pushed to his breaking point, he is finally left fully vulnerable to the Karamazov darkness waiting inside him. Devastated and openly rebellious, Alyosha leaves the monastery to visit Grushenka, the volatile woman tearing his family apart. He goes there actively expecting and inviting his own moral corruption. But the encounter provides a turning point. When Grushenka learns about Zosima's death, she stops trying to seduce him. She offers him genuine pity, and these two deeply broken people share a moment of mutual empathy. This photograph of rugged Russian peasants illustrates Alyosha's paradigm shift. He realizes that grace exists in the messy, broken people of the world, rather than just in the quiet of a monastery. Alyosha runs back to the hermitage under the night sky. He throws himself onto the ground. He embraces the dirt, weeping, and physically kisses the earth in a spontaneous, ecstatic baptism. When he stands back up, the sheltered boy is gone. He rises as a resolute champion, his goodness now forged by a direct confrontation with reality. This is Dostoevsky's ultimate answer to Ivan's nihilism. You cannot defeat despair with a superior logical debate. You defeat it through the daily, gritty practice of active love. Notice how this diagram behaves. One action draws a line to another, eventually connecting an entire network. This visualizes the radical idea that everyone is responsible to everyone for everything. Dostoevsky places the novel's final, triumphant image at a rock by a dirt path. Alyosha stands surrounded by 12 young boys at the funeral of their classmate, uniting them in a file of memory that actively interrupts the generational cycle of violence. True goodness is not a sheltered retreat from human darkness. It is the courageous, active choice to walk into the center of the mess and love it anyway.